Awesome. Very cool. Welcome to the Power Up and the Market Update. Today is November 18th, 2024. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen here. I'm going to go over a couple of quick updates for you guys. Just like to keep you guys up to date with everything that is happening in our powerful community and also keep you up to date with some numbers. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me go ahead and do that here really quick. And just give me a thumbs up if you guys can see my screen. I just want to make sure that I got some good feedback. You guys, you can see my screen? Yes? Yes? Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. So remember to be fully present. Bring your full attention to the Zoom. Eliminate distractions. Focus and stay with the conversation. And also drop insights into the chat. I love to see you guys when you guys drop insights, because if you guys are getting a breakthrough, if you guys are getting an insight, I want you to share it, because I'm sure other people will also either resonate with it or they'll also get some value from it just like you did. So the training today is social media listing domination. Who wants to dominate listings? Who wants to dominate with listings? Like, who wants to become a powerful listing agent? You're at the right place at the right time. Yeah, Linda raised her hand. Put it in the chat. Who wants to be a powerful listing agent? Come on now, light up the chat. Who wants to be a powerful listing agent? Yes, yes, yes. Cool. You guys are in the right place. So we are going to do some affirmations. So I encourage you to unmute yourselves, because I want to hear you guys loud and clear. I want to amplify the energy, because one of the things that Krista does is that she has a very energetic mindset, powerful energy. So I want you guys to raise the energy in this room. All right. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. We're going to do power up. We're going to do that twice, and then we're going to get into the affirmation. All right. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
We're ready.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, power up.
1, 2, 3,
One, two,
power
three,
up.
power up.
1, 2, 3, power up.
Power up.
1, 2,
1, 2, 3, power up. Power
High
up.
energy equals high income.
high energy equals high income.
Every day and every way, I'm getting better and better.
Every day and every way, I'm getting better and better.
Every day and every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger.
Every day and every way, I'm getting stronger.
Every day and every way, I'm getting smarter and smarter.
Every day and every way,
I'm getting smarter and smarter.
I signed a new listing today.
I signed a
new listing today.
I opened a new escrow today.
I open a new
escrow today.
I was born to win.
I was born to win.
I will never surrender.
I will never surrender.
I will always keep growing.
I will always keep growing.
I was born to be great.
I was born to be great.
Today will be the best day of my life, no matter what.
Today
will be the best day of my life, no matter what.
Yes, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys amplifying the energy up in the Zoom room. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Go ahead and mute yourselves now. And I want you guys to quickly just drop some gratitude into the chat. What is at least one thing, one thing, just one thing you could be grateful for today? I know that I'm grateful for just waking up. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my mindset. I'm grateful for Krista being a yes, right? It's a couple of you saying health, waking up this morning, walking, my family, talking. Yes, talking, that's a big one. Absolutely. Seeing, yes, my family, not giving up, family. Grateful to God, my family, grateful to the mortgage. Yes, my limbs. Yes, yes, faith, motivation. Absolutely. Grateful to God. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Thank you guys so much for flooding the chat with some gratitude, because gratitude is an abundance multiplier. And just so you guys remember, this is our goal as a community, to serve 21,000 families, $10 billion in volume, and track 10,000 agents to our company. So I'm going to go into the weekly market update. This is just a local market update. If you guys don't see your county in this market update, remember that you have something that's called the MLS, and you can pull up this data and pull up the last 7 days. That's what I do every single week, just to keep you guys up to date with what's happening. So if you could see LA, we have $1.2 billion in the last 7 days closed, just in LA. We got $640 million in Orange County. We have $200 million in San Bernardino. We have $341 million in Riverside, and $494 million in San Diego. So what does that total out to? $2.9 billion in transactions in the last 7 days, 2,500 properties, and $72 million in commissions paid. Every single week I see these numbers, and I'm super impressed, and it gets me motivated, gets me inspired, because this is one thing we got to pay attention to. We got to pay attention to reality and the numbers of what's actually happening. So You guys already know we got about 18 trainings that are happening this week. Make sure that obviously you guys check your WhatsApp. Make sure you check your Facebook group. You're going to get an email or a text, but kudos to Terry for doing that because you guys are getting updates constantly. That way you guys are aware of what's happening. So every morning between 8:30 and 9:15, we have Skills Mastery with Mr. Moises. He does a powerful training in the morning that gets your mindset right, gets you situated in the morning. So make sure you don't miss that. That's a really powerful way to start the day. And also, our very own Mr. Steven Diaz is hosting a powerful realtor mastermind this Wednesday with Taya DeCarlo. So she done over $1 billion in production. So she's going to be on this call this Wednesday. So make sure you don't miss that training 100%. Also, our very own Will Higgins is going to be hosting a training right after this at 11 o'clock, how to build a community that supports your business. Awesome, awesome training. And we also are starting off our Iconic Success Academy with Mr. Joseph Trujillo as well. Also, the one thing I want to remind you guys is that we have an event, a live event this week in Chino. So if you guys are able to make it, this is a free event. I'm co-hosting this with Mr. Will Higgins, and we're going to have Brandy from Selling OC. We have individuals in there making over $1 million a year. We have individuals in there selling over 300 properties. So this is going to be a very powerful lineup. We're going to have a mixture of keynotes and also live panels. So make sure you scan the QR code. I want to see all of you guys in Chino Hills alongside with Mr. Will Higgins. It's going to be a really powerful call. So the other thing, a lot of you are already part of FastCap, and the next cohort, it's going to start January 8th, and I already got word that it's more than halfway filled up. So if you missed the last half, the FastCap, and you're not registered for FastCap, this is your next opportunity. And I'm telling you, you guys have to register for FastCap like ASAP because this thing is going to be booked out. The average person that's going through this program for 6 weeks is opening up an additional 4 escrows. So the free 99, by the way. So if you guys are thinking, how much is this? It's free 99. Make sure you register for this training if you guys want to elevate your production. So now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started up with our special guest, Miss Krista Mayshore. I know this gal doesn't need a introduction, but I'm just going to go over a couple of her highlights and give you guys some context of who she is. She's a top 1% coach nationwide focusing on sales and marketing. Krista Mayshore has been recognized by Wall Street Journal in the top 100 real estate agents in the U.S. and was in the top 1% of realtors nationwide for 19 years, selling over 2,300 homes as a solo agent. While in production, Krista is also the author of 6 best-selling books focusing on digital marketing and sales. She's named Yahoo Finance #1 digital marketer to watch in 2021. According to Success Magazine, Krista was one of the 125 most...
Okay, enough. We're good.
Hey, that's it. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I hate that introduction thing.
All right. Go for it.
Thank you so much. I am like so pumped up just to be here because your energy is absolutely infectious. And I hope you guys all realize that energy, when I say high energy equals high income, is the reason why Leo does so well. Like, don't you just want to be like Leo? From that, I mean, you cannot, it's so, Leo, thank you so much one thing I will say is that I do not underestimate the power of somebody allowing me to be in front of their audience. And so it really means a lot. And I have so much respect for Leo. And I love his affirmations that he does with you guys because it's believable, right? The thing I like about your affirmations, Leo, was that you're not saying like, I am rich, when like, you're like, well, I have no money in the bank, right? You don't believe it. But the way you say it, it's an intentional way to live that day. Awesome. I'm literally going to steal that because it's just so good. Okay.
Go for it.
I love it. I was going to call you and say, can I steal that? All right, everyone. So thank you for letting me be here. I'm really excited. Let's just get into it. I want you to know that I wasn't going to tell this story because I just wasn't going to, but I want to tell a little quick story just really fast. All right. I have not lived at home since I was 13 years old. So I have a great family, great mother, great father, but my mother was also severely physically abusive when I was younger. And so when I turned 13, I started running away from home. I ended up in juvenile hall. Then I ended up in a group home for troubled girls for a year. And then I went to a foster home. And so although the relationship with my parents is amazing now, I went through a lot of self-doubt, insecurity, not feeling worthy enough. When you're physically abused from a parent, it really messes with your mind, okay? Because you always feel like you're always wanting you just don't feel good enough for a lot of reasons. So I've had to really, really work on my mindset. And I tell you that because I believe, just like Leo, that we literally create everything based upon how we think about things, right? Where our energy goes, where focus flows. I wrote a book about a year ago called Stop, Snap, and Switch. And when I was writing that book, I'm already obsessed about mindset, but it was a whole year of me learning how the brain works, looking at research studies on how the brain works, how we can create our own our life based upon it. And you would not believe just how powerful we are, and how our thoughts, our thinkings, it becomes things. It becomes a reality, and it all starts with us. Okay, so the first thing is to be aware of what we're thinking and to know that we create what happens. Okay, so with that being said, right now, I want to sell your beautiful faces. Okay, there you go. I can see your gallery. With that being said, right now, there's never been a better time or an easier time, in my opinion, to stand out as a real estate agent. Okay, do this if you think real estate's competitive. Do this. Okay, real estate's competitive. All right, so everyone's shaking their hand. Every single hand is pretty much up. Okay, but guess what? Because it is so competitive, it's so easy to stand out. I'm going to repeat that. And this is what I want you to hear. If you understand this, this is going to help you leave this training today and go, I can do this. Because it is so competitive, it's never been easier to stand out, because most people are being taught to do the same things. They're being taught to cold call, to door knock, right? And we're being trained all these things from years ago. And yes, those things do work. They work. But there's an easier way to start attracting business. And the best way to start attracting business instead of chasing it is to be what I call the community market leader. Okay, the community, I have that it's my trademark actually. A community market leader is anytime somebody thinks about real estate and their community, you come to mind. Okay, now how do we do this? How do we come to mind when there's so much competition? Guess what? We come to mind by constantly being seen, by being active in our community, by making sure that people are seeing us both in their news feed, seeing us in the community, right? Like they're seeing us over and over again. People are leaving the real estate industry right now in drones, more so back in 2008 when I was like dominating real estate, because everybody left, and I learned at that time how to be different, right? My best year in real estate, I sold 169 homes as a solo agent back in the worst time in the market, which is kind of like what we're in now. And how I did that was by differentiating myself. The biggest trap that you have as a real estate agent is what I call the commodity trap. You're doing everything that everyone else is doing. So if you can start to position yourself as the authority in real estate in your community. Now here's the deal. It's so easy to do because it's just a 20-mile radius, a 15-mile radius. It's not like Leo. Leo is trying to get agents across the world to join him with EXP, right? I'm trying to get agents across the world, across the country to know who I am so they'll come with me, right? That's not as easy as what it is for you. So let's talk about ways that we can do this, okay? First of all, I want to say that I believe that your best friend in real estate is going to be utilizing social media. Now, I know a lot of you know this, you know social media, but many of us are afraid. We're afraid of what we look like, what we're going to sound like, what people are going to think about us. Are they going to judge us? We are all humans, so we worry about that. Okay, how many of you worry about that? Like, oh gosh, like I feel like an imposter. What am I going to say? No one's going to like me. Okay, they are going to judge you anyways. All right, they're going to judge you anyways. So we need to just get over that. It doesn't matter. Okay, and we can learn to get better at it. So the first thing is like understanding like they're judging me anyways, right? That's who I am. If I create content and like when I go to a listing appointment or when I meet with a buyer, I can't say, put a bag over my head. I can't say, let me repeat that 87 times. I go for it. That's just like how social media can be. Okay. So when the market crashed, I was a foreclosure agent. Okay. I worked for tons of foreclosure companies. And then the market got better. And all of a sudden it almost seemed like overnight, all my asset management companies went away. And this is exactly how I got back up to selling over 100 homes a year within 12 months. It's by what I'm going to show you right now. This is also how you can become a listing specialist. Okay. We want to list to last. We want listings. Yes, that's what we want, right? And it's easy to get. Now, many of you are like, well, I'm never going to beat that top producer in my area. There's somebody that dominates the area. In most cases, a lot of these top producing listing agents are what I call agents by default. They're the agent that's just been the agent year after year, month after month, right? Like, and half of them suck. They don't answer their phone. Like they, you know, like they're rude. Okay, but they're that person. You can become that person by what I call becoming a neighborhood specialist. Now, this is the exact strategy that I use. As I said, when the market got better and all of a sudden my listings went from, you know, nothing. So for about 6 years when I was a foreclosure agent, I wasn't marketing myself. Nobody knew me. So I remember waking up one day, and it wasn't one day, I wasn't being aware, right? It was like, oh my gosh, all my assets are gone. Like I went from selling like 154, 160 homes down to 12. And I was like, oh my gosh, nobody knows me. I haven't marketed myself. I'm starting over. So this is the power about this story, is that you all can do the exact same thing right now. And back then when I did it, they didn't have something called social media. They didn't have video. Okay. So what I decided to do back then was I got together with one of my lenders and I said, we're going to start dominating these 2 specific neighborhoods. Okay. So what I did was every 2 weeks, I would send out a postcard, right? Call it old school, whatever, but it worked. And I would talk about what was happening in the neighborhood and the community on one side. The other side, I would talk about the actives, the pendings, the sold in that neighborhood, in that community. Now, if your MLS won't let you, there's ways around this, right? You can do people in your brokerage. You can also just you can figure it out. And I'm sure Leo or one of your wonderful coaches that he has with you can help you figure that out, right? But that's how I started doing it. And very quickly, people started thinking that I was doing business because they were seeing me in their mailbox. Then I started doing community neighborhood events. Like we did, you know, Santa Claus, we drove the Santa Claus truck all around here. We did Easter bunnies, we did neighborhood garage sales, we did everything. And within a very short time frame, my listings went up and I started dominating those 2 markets. Okay. My team does this today, or I teach my students to do this now. But now it's even better because now you can create what I call a community funnel. All right. Now, I want you to think about the commodity trap is everyone's doing the same thing. Okay. When I was a listing agent, I did not lose. It was almost impossible for me to lose a listing because I was winning before I arrived. Everybody say win before I arrive. I was literally winning before I arrived. And I was doing that because people knew me, they saw me, and I was educating them. I was adding value. I was always like in front of them. Okay, once video came out in these specific communities. And then when they would call me now, I would say, hey, before you meet with another agent, please take a look at this neighborhood. It's basically a neighborhood website, but it's a funnel. Okay, a funnel is like a website, but these are all funnels back here. So each one of those is like a funnel that I created that has done over $1 million in income producing from a specific funnel. Okay. And it's just a specific place that people go to for a specific thing. So before a listing appointment, I send people to this funnel. Now a seller calls me, a buyer calls, and this not now because I'm not practicing now. Right now I'm a coach now, and I also my focus is EXP. So this is not what I do now. This is what I teach my agents to do. People call and they drive traffic to this area where they can learn all about the community. Okay. Now think about this. If somebody is calling you and they're saying, hey, George Salazar, you're one of the 4 agents I'm interviewing today. I'm interviewing 4 agents. And you say, great, make sure before you interview them, please go to this website and take a look. It's going to talk to you about what's happening in the neighborhood. There's going to be a market update on there. All right. And it's going to help you understand like what kind of questions and things that you should ask an agent. So I'm just going to show you one right now so you get an understanding of what it is. And then I'm going to talk to you about how powerful it can be. Okay. So this is considered, this is a website, a funnel specific to a specific neighborhood. All right. Now this is not hard to do. Let me just tell you, this is not hard to do. And once you can create one, let me show you. Once you create one, all right, you can copy it and create more. Deer Ridge, Garin Ranch, Oakley, Sterling Preserve, Shadow Lakes, Discovery Bay, Brentwood, East County, okay, Bluestone, Oakley. You can then take this website, you can then copy and paste this and make other ones and just change this right here. This now becomes Deer Ridge. I created this this training on Zoom. So I just go to Zoom, I share my screen, and then I do an update about the neighborhood. Okay, it takes about 5 minutes. And then I do the same thing to every other neighborhood. Okay, so now when somebody calls me, I'm literally giving them an update about this neighborhood. All right, and now some of you are saying, well, how do I get them in the first place? I'm going to go over that next. So I'm going to tell you how to get sellers to raise their hand, how to get them aware, and what you do once they raise their hand. Okay, so let me just go ahead and play this real quickly. Hi there, Krista Mayshore here.
Hey, it's Josh Vitale.
We are here with the Mayshore Group, formerly Homes by Krista, and we are here to give you your Deer Ridge and all of Brentwood local market update.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we have actually written a book, What to Expect When Selling Your Deer Ridge or Shadow Lakes home. And we also have written a book for buyers. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, reach out to us. So I'm going to go ahead and share really quickly what's happening in all of Deer Ridge. All right, so here's what's happening in Deer Ridge. As you can see, the red are what has recently sold. The green are what are active, and the yellow are what is pending. We have got one. Now, first of all, does anybody here not know how to use Zoom? If you don't know how to use Zoom, raise your hand. Okay, so far, all you need is Zoom. Second of all, is there anybody here that does not have access to an MLS? You all have exactly what you need to be able to do this to start, okay? Active over there in Shadow Lake. So this right here shows what sold. This is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, the square footage, and the price. And you might be thinking, wow, that's, it's quite a bit of a difference from the square footage and the selling price. But feel free to stop this, kind of look at where your home is and adjacent to these and what your comparables are. We've got 2 pending. This one is a 2-bedroom, 3-bath at 2,000 square feet. Probably it has 1 or 2 more bedrooms in there that just doesn't have a closet. And then we've got one on Winged Foot, which is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,500 square feet. That is pending at $1,095,000. We will not know that. We won't. Gonna skip a little bit here.
All nice about it is actually there's a lot of different square footages on this report. So maybe you're the 1,400 square foot one. Maybe you're even the 3,700 square foot or 3,500 square foot one. You can kind of gauge as to what your house is worth. But obviously, price, condition, location, all of the things are going to make a difference in value of your property.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll notice this one too. You see how it's 1,400 square foot and the price per square foot was $500. Typically, the lower, the smaller the square footage, the higher the price per square foot. And the larger the home, the lower the price per square foot goes. All right, great. Now Josh is going to go ahead and go over what's happening in Brentwood.
In all of Brentwood right now.
Okay, now, first of all, I want you to see how it's like May, June, July, August, September. Just by having all that data, it's a psychological trigger to a seller that I am active and I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm showing them in this specific neighborhood that I've been doing this for 2 years now, every month. Okay, I want to point something else out to you. There's absolutely no reason why this can't happen. I was actually at my parents' house. My mom, I was in the hospital for about a month. She almost died. So I'm spending a lot of time there taking care of my mom. That's my brother. He came to my house. Typically I do it, and my dad, we just grabbed my dad's computer and we did it right from my mom's house as I'm taking care of my very ill mom. Okay. It's just on Zoom. Keep going.
Oh.
And real quickly, you notice we've been doing this, people, I mean, almost 2 years now. So you can kind of see like what was happening from 2 years ago until now, as far as Okay, I'm not going to keep going, but you get the point. Okay, so first of all, that is a specific neighborhood market update. And how I did that was I went to the MLS. I did the Paragon where it picked up that specific neighborhood. I got on Zoom, shared my screen, hit record, done. Okay, that's it. All of you know how to do that. Now, some of you are thinking, well, Krista, that's not specific to a specific house. And that's why I said, hey, price, condition, location, upgrades, that all determines the price. And at the end, what we do is we tell them, if you want an accurate free analysis, just let us know, we'll come. This is general. Okay, so this right now is making me stand out from my competitors, just that one thing. Now, there's more on this funnel that I'm going to show you, but what I want you to understand that's very important is if you just did that, if that was all you had was just that, you are doing 99.9, you're doing 100,000 times more than anybody else that you're competing with. No one's doing it. Okay, no one's doing this. All right, so let me keep going on this funnel and then we'll get into why it's so important, okay? So there's the market update. Remember, Deer Ridge, it says here, you saw it was just from, November. Okay, we're in November right now, all right? Then I've got more stuff like, how marketing will get your home sold, the local market update. This right here is what's happening locally in that entire city, okay? And then I have information about the NAR lawsuit going on, a national market update, and then I start going into the community. Now, this is where this gets good, okay? Once I complete this video and this video and all of these videos can go on the same exact funnel. I just copy it. All I change is the very first one in regards to that. So let me show you what I mean by that so you can actually see it, okay? Here's another one. This one says Guerin Ranch, all right? Guerin Ranch, same thing. Notice the only thing that's different is this. Everything else is exactly the same. So I'm utilizing, now this is all for the same city, right? Best sandwiches, best hot dogs. I've got a copy of my book on there, okay? Guerin Ranch stats, this is very easy to pull, to add so that I have each city on there, okay? For the actual neighborhood, all right? It's not difficult to do. So then what I do is I take these funnels and I teach my students to do pick a community, pick a neighborhood, and I call it a CMA drop off, okay? They're literally starting from house A and just working their way down. My goal is to do 25 of them a week, okay? To teach them to do 25 a week. But you know what they're doing? Some of them are doing 100 a week. Some of them are doing 200 a week because they get the momentum going and they see how well it works. So they start by dropping off some of them do crazy stuff. I can show you at a different time, but they send off really cool things. Some of them just do a piece of paper, or they'll get like a neighborhood, those little things you put on the door. And guess what's so cool about this is they're not asking for anything. They're not knocking on the door to see if you want to sell. They are literally saying, hey, would you like to know what's happening in your market? And there's a QR code that when they hand deliver these things, or I use Every Door Direct, okay? And then I have the QR code on there and I'm starting to train people to know that on the 10th of every month, go to this QR code and there'll be an updated market report for their neighborhood every month. Now, when you see a house go on the market in your neighborhood, okay, you're driving down the street, you see a house go on the market, the first thing that you do is you get pissed off that they didn't list with you, right? You're like, oh my God, they didn't list with me, right? You're like, and guess what? With love, that's your fault. It's your fault they didn't list with you because they have forgotten about you. It's the same thing when you go to Costco and you see an old client that loved you, had the best experience, but you see them, they go, wait, Krista, I just bought a house and I sold one. I'm so excited. And you're like, WTF, why didn't you use me? Because they forgot about you. And that's very common. As much as they love you, we have to make it so it's impossible for people to forget about us. And we do that by becoming a community market leader in our neighborhood, in our city. Okay, and this is the way that you do it. So now, that's the first thing. You get mad at yourself for not calling. The second thing you do is you either pull the flyer to see what they listed it for, okay? Because you live there and you want to know what the cost was, or you go to the MLS and you look at who is the listing agent, right? That a-hole, and then you look at what was the price, because you care about your neighborhood. There's a reason why there's so many shows on real estate. There's like 10 real estate shows, OC, Selling Sunset, all these, the Ryan Serhant, there's all these real estate shows because people are obsessed with real estate. But you want to know what they're even more obsessed with? Real estate in their town. You know what they're even more obsessed with besides that? Real estate in their neighborhood. What are houses selling for? What are they pending at? What are they going for? Yes? Am I right? Okay. Think about your own behavior as a real estate agent. You are doing that because you care about what homes are going for in your neighborhood. So does your neighbors. So does the entire community. What's the one question that you get asked if somebody knows that you're in real estate, you're a realtor? What do you get asked at a party? What do you get asked? Put it in the chat. What do you get asked? How's the market? How's the market? That's what you get asked. Okay. So it's your responsibility to tell people what's happening in the market. So do we understand so far what a neighborhood website or funnel is? Do we all understand? Okay. Do we understand that all we need is just the market update? Just that. If we just had the market update, we are doing 100 times more than our competitors. Yes? Yes? Okay, good. Then we understand if we want to take it a step further, we can start doing a local market update. We can interview with just our phone. We can interview a local restaurant. We can stick that on there as well. And then we can take that one. What I say is I go deep. I like to go deep before I go wide. Okay. It doesn't sound good. So, anyways, so I like to go deep before I go wide, meaning, okay, I want to take one neighborhood. I'm going to go as deep as possible. And then I can take that neighborhood and I can copy it. And I can just change the neighborhood on the update like I showed you. And then I can start creating more city content, and I can start adding the city content, and I can copy one, and all I have to do is change the neighborhood. Okay. Now, why is this important, and why does this work? Oh, I lost my thing here. Where'd it go? I want to show you. As I'm sitting here getting so excited about this because I just love this. Marketing is like my thing. Like I'm obsessed with marketing. Okay. So I want you to think about something. I call it the LEAP methodology. Okay. And what the LEAP methodology is it basically, I call it a course. All right. It's a funnel. That's all it is. When somebody calls me and says they want to interview me, there's two things that I do. One is I bring them into the neighborhood funnel, which is this. Second thing I do is I bring them to a course. So I have these slides that are the exact same slides. The only thing I've changed is course and funnel. Okay. So then what is LEAP? It's to jumpstart or spring a long way to a greater height or win with great force. How many of you want to win with great force? Yes. Okay, good. So why is this important? Because it's local. It educates people. It shows that you're the authority. And it's proactive. And I'm going to explain what each one of those mean. Okay, so what's lead and local? Number one is you're leading buyers and sellers through a journey. You're educating them, okay? And while you're educating them, you're elevating your authority. You're showing that you're different, you're unique, and you're showing that you know what you are talking about. The goal is you're leading buyers, you're leading sellers to a decision, okay? That you're the best choice, you're the best option because you know more about the neighborhood than anyone else does. All right. And you're getting them to think, why isn't anybody else doing this? Yes, I have my best friend's sister's brother that's a real estate agent. Maybe I should use somebody that's more experienced and knows more about my neighborhood and about buying or selling than anybody else. Now, here's the deal. You could be brand new. You could have no business right now. You do this. Perception is reality. People don't think about it. Okay. So I'm doing a local neighborhood update. It's local and it's relevant. Okay. I'm talking about things that are happening in the area. All right. I'm giving them information of, like, this is a book that I wrote, and all I do is just change the front cover. Okay. This book is not like a cheesy generic written book that I got online. It's something that I wrote with myself and my experience and my best time, a New York Times bestselling editor. Okay. Now the second thing I'm doing is I'm educating people. I'm educating people before giving them answers to questions that they have before they even ask. Okay. National market updates, the local neighborhood market update. Okay. Preparing for a possible move this summer, right? Checklist on how to do it. Download your 30-day plan to move. Like, all of this is on. I didn't show you guys this yet, but I'll show you that in a minute. All the other videos that I have on there, because I didn't want to overwhelm you. And I didn't want you to think you needed all of that, but I will show you that in a minute. Also, when I do this, I'm showing that I'm the authority. Okay. I'm instilling trust. Research shows that people are more likely to listen to someone that they trust. Now more than ever, people. Now more than ever, you need more trust. There's actually something that shows like the amount of trust, the more financial uncertainty we have, which we have right now in the world, the more trust is needed from a consumer. This is developing trust from somebody. It's showcasing that you're the expert. They're developing what's called a parasocial relationship with you. What a parasocial relationship is that research shows that when somebody watches you, I want you to think about when you're on television, okay, you're watching TV. How many of you like have ever watched Batman? Let's just say Batman, or insert your favorite superhero movie, okay? And you're cheering for the good guy. You're like, go Batman, you know, like Superman gets scripted back, you're crying, Batman's gonna die. Like you're developing a relationship with them. And some of you, and you're also cheering for the good guy to go. Okay, you hate the bad guy, you want to stab, you know, the Joker or whatever, but you are cheering for Batman. You have developed a relationship. It's called a parasocial relationship. People do the same exact thing when they see you on the other side of a video before you get there. Okay, let's just do some math right now. Take it like a temperature check. All right, you've basically been watching me for 30 minutes. Okay, do you feel like in this 30 minutes, some of you might be like, she's super hyper, she's a speaker, but you might be like, gosh, I feel like I like Krista a little bit more. You know, maybe like you feel like you kind of know me a little bit more. You're kind of like, she actually knows what the heck she's talking about. She's not just this fast talker, like she gets it. Okay, that is a parasocial relationship. All right, now let me ask you something else. As I'm talking about this, as I'm showing you this, do you think that I'm elevating my authority and respect from you in real estate, in marketing? Okay, I am absolutely right now through teaching you this, because Leo was so gracious to give me this time. I'm absolutely 100% helping you develop a closer relationship with me. And it's the exact same thing that you can do when you educate your community and become a community market leader. All right, same exact thing. And what happens with this is that when you meet people now, when you do this regularly enough, people feel like they know you. I'll be at a restaurant. I'll be my kids, when I was a real estate agent, they used to hate going anywhere with me because people would talk to me. They would hug me. They're like acting like we're best friends. And they would always say, Mom, who was that? And I say, I have no idea. Like it happens multiple times everywhere I go in my community. Okay, that's a good thing. Now, some of you are like, well, Krista, I'm an introvert. I don't want to do this. I don't want people knowing my life. Okay, that's not the case when it comes to real estate. You've got to get out of that introvertedness. You've got to get going. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Also, I'm showing my authority by having my reviews on there. Okay, I've got reviews on, again, all of this is on there. People talking about me. Okay, all in one place. And lastly is that I am being proactive. Okay, I am educating people. I'm answering questions that I know they have before they ever ask. How's the market? How's the market in my neighborhood? What's happening nationally? I'm telling them, I'm being proactive. I'm educating them the entire time. Okay, how to choosing your Deer Ridge agent, right? All of this is being proactive. And I didn't show you this, but I'll show you now. And I want you to understand that this is not hard. It's just different, okay? People aren't doing this. So can we all agree right now that if I just had just a market update, and I could commit to creating a market update and getting it in the hands of a certain neighborhood, that if I had 10 chances, okay, I'd at least maybe win 6 of them by doing that? Or would it give me more chances? Thank you, George, you're so cute. It would give me more chances. All you need is more opportunities. You need more chances. You need to make it impossible for somebody to say no to you and impossible for somebody to forget who you are. I'm going to show you one more thing here real quickly so you understand how to do that. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm really hyper. I only have a short time, so I'll show you this. Okay. So first of all, it's not hard. We can start with just the neighborhood market update, and then we can start adding as we go. Okay, we can add as we go, and then we can start adding to each neighborhood that I'm just going to copy and paste, and I keep adding. Okay, so we can do the local updates, market updates. Well, now I can send them directly to a seminar, right? Seminar for sellers. Okay, notice. Thanks for joining the virtual seller seminar for Deer Ridge. Now, these videos are all the same. The only thing that's different is I changed this word right here, Deer Ridge. That's it, okay? All the other ones are the same. pre-market quiz, timelines, timing, marketing your home evaluation, is Zillow accurate? Like I'm educating people before I ever get there. And then let's go back to this. I'm going to show you this. Here's another one, right? Let's go back to the very bottom so you can see how easily you can do this, right? Dear Sterling Preserve. Let's go down here. All this is exactly the same. Sterling Preserve. Okay, same exact stuff on there. And now all of a sudden, when somebody calls me about a neighborhood, I send them to that funnel and people are like, wow, this person knows something about my neighborhood. Okay, so we start with just the neighborhood video, the neighborhood using Zoom, hitting record, getting on the website, and then we add slowly. It is the beginning of a new year. If you committed, I'm going to dominate my community in the next 12 months. And I'm going to do something. Every time I do one, I'm going to add it. Okay. And then I'm going to copy it on all the other neighborhoods, the neighborhoods that I choose. Okay. Krista, how many neighborhoods should I do? The amount of neighborhoods you're going to actually do. Whether that's 1 or 5, you do as many as you're going to do. Okay. Then by the end of the year, I'm going to have a full-on thing done. And you're like, Krista, a year is so long. What's the alternative? Having nothing, right? You need to stop being a commodity. You need to differentiate yourself. You need to show how you are different and you are knowledgeable. And it's never been easier because no one else is doing this and people are leaving in the droves. Yes, they are. So it's such a great opportunity for us. And it's so easy to stand out because everyone else is doing the same thing. Knock, knock, call, open house. When I go to an open house, oh, I wish I could find that. I'm gonna show you. I gotta show you this because it's so important for you to see this. But when I go to an open house, when I do an open house, my daughter, like I'm not a practicing real estate anymore. I was for 19 years. And when she's got her license, so I'm teaching her now to, I'm teaching my daughter how to be a real estate agent. Okay. Which is not exactly the easiest thing because you forget all the things that you do. But I want to show you now how I take these community funnels that I call them, and how I take them and I use these different community funnels at an open house so that when somebody walks in, whether it's a buyer or seller, then I'm giving them education, I'm giving them value. And I'll find it in a second if I've got time. I'm looking as we're speaking. But it's amazing what it can do because no one else is doing it. Okay, so now let's talk about, well, how do I get sellers? I'm a new agent, or I don't have any listings, I've never done this, or I am a top producer. And I know that I better up my game because if I don't up my game and start becoming an agent by design, and stop being an agent by default, somebody's going to come in and they are going to be able to take over because they're different. They're not being a commodity. They are doing what everyone else is not doing. You have to think that way. How can I differentiate myself? Okay. And also having a very, very strong mindset as I'm doing this is 1000% very essential because I've got to keep my mind going and my mind positive as I'm doing this stuff because nothing happens overnight. It's great and easy and wonderful to say like, I'm going to do this, but we start getting a little bit in our heads and we don't see results right away. But understand this, that there's never in real estate, it's harder for most because people don't just wake up one day and say, I want to sell, I want to buy. Okay. What people do is they start thinking about it about 11 months before they make a move. So that means if they're thinking about 11 months beforehand, I have to be showing up in their newsfeed. I have to be educating them, adding value while they are thinking, before they're ever thinking about it. Okay. And if I do this appropriately, what can happen is people can start referring me that don't even know me. People will start to tell people about me because I look like I'm the expert before that when I've never met them. If I can just stick to it and I can just keep on doing it, it can 100% change the way that my business is being done. So you pick a neighborhood, you pick a community, okay? You start dropping off a one sheet, and here's what my sheet says. It says, hey, I have found that people in a certain neighborhood really are interested in what the value of their homes is. So I've created, you can come here to this website every single month, and I'm going to tell you exactly what is happening specific in your neighborhood. Okay. And here's what's easy about this. I'm not asking for anything. I'm not bothering them. Okay. I'm just giving them information and giving them value. And now I'm training the community to come to me. I'm training the community to know that they can get a local market update specific to everything that's happening in their neighborhood every month. And here's where you go. Okay. That's the idea behind this. All right. Any questions before I want to ask questions right now. I really want to show you guys that I'm trying to find it. So I'm literally talking to you and trying to like find this one slide as I'm talking. Go ahead.
Really good stuff, Krista. Really good stuff. Yes, post your questions in the chat, guys. Mr. Will Higgins, I think, has his hand up. Let's go ahead, brother. Go ahead and ask your question.
I will. You know, I love you.
And he popped in and he popped out. All right, cool. Or maybe put your questions into the chat. That'd probably be a good way to do it. Also, drop in the chat if you guys are getting a lot of value. I'm taking notes and notes. I've probably taken like 2 pages of notes already while Krista has been talking. But it's been really, really good stuff. So any questions you guys have, guys, make sure you guys drop it or raise your hand. I can definitely call on you guys.
Can you do me a favor, Will? Because as you're doing that, I can answer. I'm just trying to find that one thing because I wanted them to visually see how well this can work.
Absolutely.
Oh, good, I have it. I found it. Okay, cool. I got it. Let me show this real quick, okay, everyone? Now I want you to think about you're doing an open house. And a seller walks in, that's a nosy neighbor. Typically a lot of times when sellers are thinking about selling, they kind of do things like that. They go into open houses, all right? Buyers, right? Because I used to always say open houses suck, don't do them, it's a waste of time. But now with this whole NAR lawsuit, I think open houses are amazing, right? They're so great. But when I do them, I want to make sure that I'm making an impact. People are remembering me and I'm adding value to both sellers and to buyers as I'm doing that. Okay, so here's an example of an open house. And by the way, we sold this house and we double-ended this house. Okay, we double-ended this house. So I will show you right now what this looks like, okay? So you can see it in action. Now that's something I'm going to show you in a minute. Now, these are spring guides. Now we have ones that are for winter, right? But this one right here is for either sellers or buyers. I have a separate funnel for a seller and one for a buyer. Buyer guide, seller guide, seller funnel, buyer funnel. Now I have my community funnel for buyers and sellers up on my computer screen. If you can get it on the TV, you put it on the TV. Even if it's just a neighborhood market update. Oops, sorry, I have a funnel. We have our buyer and seller community funnels up. She did an amazing job doing a cheese board. Obviously the home is staged. Homes that are staged statistically sell for more money and more quickly with better terms in favor of the seller. Okay. Now I'll show you another one, what I did to the sellers. Hi there, it's Krista and Jalen. We just want to let you know we're doing the open house right now. And we've got everything looking all your neighbors great. Are here. All your neighbors came to say hi. The house looks amazing. We've got it all set up here, the seller's guide and the buyer's guide. Okay, so what I did there now when I did that was I did a video on social media showing everything I did because I want to showcase how I'm unique and how I'm different and the level of service that I can give. When a seller comes in, they're seeing I'm doing all of that stuff. All the neighbors that you saw there, we invited them to a pre-neighbor party, right? And like what happens is when they walked in, instead of me saying to the neighbors, the sellers, or the buyers, hey, can I have your phone number? I'm like, hey, click here if you want to update what's happening in your neighborhood all the time. I mean, every person was like, oh, I already clicked on it. I got your flyer, right? When you invited us, and they're doing it without me feeling salesy and pushy. Okay, so does that make sense, everyone? Can you see that if you were to do this and commit to doing this, how your business could absolutely change? Okay, every hand should be up right now. If it's not, you're on Mars right now because this is how you win. Now, somebody calls me, right, for a listing, and I'm giving them these are mine. I'm the one that did these boxes. Now people are selling them and all this great stuff. But I've got like a QR code here that either goes to a seller and buyer course, okay, or it goes to a neighborhood funnel, depending on who I'm going after. And then I've got all my my stuff in here. I've got my book in here, right? I have all my things. I drop this off before I go to a listing, and it's impossible to beat me. I mean, I could be the suckiest agent in the world, but if I do that, like I never lost. The only time I would lose it, they'd be like, Krista, you're way too hyper, you speak too fast. My grandma's like 95. I think she might need someone a little slower, right? But it was very difficult to lose. Okay, Rich. I feel like I'm talking faster than normal because I've had 12 this morning and I only have, 50 minutes.
Go ahead, brother. Oh, there it is.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing with us this great knowledge, Krista. Yeah, I have a million questions, but I'll just ask you one. So I see you're using a landing page with a bunch of lead magnets on it. Now, to drive traffic to this page, are you using, is there like a big split of organic versus paid? I know that your email list, that seems like that's feeding it a lot. What's like the split on that? Is it organic versus paid? Is a lot organic, or what are you doing there?
Rich, this is a great question. Okay, so I believe that organic traffic is amazing. It's free. It takes a lot longer. All right, but you don't need to have a ton of traffic when somebody is going to search. So for example, when somebody goes to YouTube, they're searching for something, that's a buyer that has the intent to gather information. Okay, that's amazing. You don't need as much. But what I do is I spend about, I used to spend $200 a video on every listing that I had, and I would spend $200 on all of my market. I do 8 videos a month, and all the videos that you saw on there are like current because I do a national market update, a local market update, and then I do like seller and buyer tips. I just recorded last weekend. The videos were all about the election and how things change. And so I put money behind that. So I use Facebook, I use the ads manager account, super easy to do, super easy to learn. And then I start targeting my local community. So we'll get anywhere from 200, 400 hours, yes, hours of watch time on every video that we put out, because I'm targeting my local community. I'm using like the video views objective, I'm using the reach objective, and I'm putting my videos out there so I know that people are seeing me. And the reason I do that is because research shows that about 2.3% of people are only seeing you organically, okay, unless they're going to search. So I'm purposely putting my content in front of people, and it's so cheap and affordable to do because I'm doing it locally, right? I market nationally. So for me, if I was to spend $200 in a month, right, it would go nowhere. But locally, it's insane. So I like to do both. Now, the idea is that people are going to see my sign. They're going to see me in their mailbox. They're going to see me organically organically. They're going to see me paid, and they're going to be like, I see you everywhere. So what I would say is, if you're looking for speed, you would want to skip the coffee, skip the wine, and spend that money you'd spend on that on getting yourself in front of people through a Facebook ad campaign. Okay. And you do one thing and you do it well before you go to the next. Then once I get good at that, then I start doing more organic content. Okay. And also you can do something called video repurposing, which is basically I do one video, I put it on YouTube, I put it on Instagram Reels, I put it on TikTok, I put it everywhere. And who cares that it's not perfect and it's not the, you just repurpose what you have. So I do it all, but I used to only do Facebook ads because now I have a team so I can do more. But when I was an agent, I dominated my market. Dominated top. I was like number 1, number 2 every year, year after year from this type of marketing. Okay. And that was spending a budget, making sure I go in front of people and they're actually seeing me.
No, that's really good. So I guess the second question was going to be, what would be that one channel you'd go deep in before you went wide? And is that Facebook marketing, or if you're starting fresh, what would that be?
So if you notice, first of all, I love YouTube, and YouTube is amazing, but it's harder and it takes a lot longer, but it does work. If you look at Facebook, I want you to see TikTok markets on Facebook, YouTube marketers market on Facebook to tell you how good YouTube is, because I consider myself an expert digital marketer. Okay. I've spent over $1 million just in the past 6 years learning how to market. And it's actually 1.6 million. So I understand marketing very, very well. And I would say Facebook because it's very affordable. Okay. Also, I didn't have time to say this, but it's important. All right. Is that the best marketing you can have is it's close in proximity and it's relevant and it's recent. Okay. When you do this market, like I just showed you, it's close in proximity. They're their city, it's relevant to them, right? Their neighborhood, and it's recent. All of those three principles, if you just remember those three principles in your marketing and your hooks and all your stuff, you will have much more engaged. People will lean in more because it's relevant, recent, and close to them. Okay, more than anything else about your marketing, remember that, and those three terms will help you immensely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Good questions, Rich.
Love it. And we're at the top of the hour, Miss Chris. Did you have a gift? I remember you mentioned something.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
thank you for remembering. I would have totally forgot. I would have forgot.
Hey,
Okay, here it is.
No, I'm not gonna forget because people keep asking about it, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
this is what you guys want to do right here.
So
Awesome.
because you guys are with Leo, you notice his name is there. We have an event. It's actually going on right now. It's today, tomorrow, and the next day we have one going on right now. But December 9th, we have a 3-day virtual event where I literally dive into this stuff super, super in depth. It's virtual, it's from your own home. And it's teaching you all about marketing practices, real estate practices to like really differentiate yourself, not be a commodity and stand out. And I just want to say, Leo, this is so much fun. This is my passion, and thank you for letting me talk in front of your people. I know I appreciate it, and I love what you did at the beginning. At the beginning, you were so great about showing all the things. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do that. That was awesome.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's been a long time in the making. This has been so valuable. And thank you so much for also posting this limitless listings because we're talking about this. So for everybody in the community that wants to dive deeper and have like an intensive, this is exactly what you want to do here as next steps. Krista, thank you so much once again. Everybody in the community, please give her a huge shout out on social media. Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram and all her platforms. God bless you, my friend. Have an amazing day.
I appreciate it. They can share this with anybody in their organization. They can give it to whoever they want. Just to let you know, they can pass it on. Love you.
Cool. Awesome. Love you too, my friend. See you soon. Alrighty. Bye. All right, guys. See you guys on Wednesday. Let's grow. Awesome.